You promised yourself this time would be different. You'd stay calm. But then, the shoes are still in the middle of the floor, the homework isn't started, the bickering with a sibling hits that perfect, glass-shattering pitch, and in a moment of pure, raw frustration, you hear yourself yell. And the guilt floods in immediately. That wave of shame, that awful feeling in the pit of your stomach that you failed. Again. You see the look on your child's face, that flicker of fear or surprise, or maybe even defiance, and you think, this isn't the parent I want to be. This isn't the relationship I want to build. If that cycle sounds exhausting and all too familiar, you're in the right place. And I need you to hear this loud and clear. It does not mean you're a bad parent. It means you're a human being who has been pushed to your limit, and you're in need of better tools. That's it. You're a good parent having a hard time. And the old way of just trying harder, of gritting your teeth and vowing to be more patient, it isn't enough. Because willpower alone is not a strategy. In this video, we're going to break down 4 powerful, science-backed techniques to help you move beyond yelling. These aren't magic wands. They're about fundamentally shifting how you see and respond to your child's challenging behaviors. They are tools that will help you turn those heated moments into moments of connection, and in the process, build your confidence as a parent so you can lead with calm authority. Let's get into the first and most foundational piece of this puzzle. Before we can build a new house, we have to understand why the old one keeps falling down. The simple truth is, yelling doesn't work. Not in the long run. Sure, it might stop a behavior for a second out of shock or fear, but it comes at a huge cost. So what does the science actually say about this? Research consistently shows that harsh verbal discipline can be deeply harmful. A major 2023 longitudinal study from the University of Cambridge that followed 7,500 children confirmed that harsh discipline significantly increases the risk of children developing lasting mental health problems. It can lead to an increase in a child's aggression. After all, we're modeling that when you have big, angry feelings, the way to handle it is to get loud and intimidating. Research from 2013 also shows that parental verbal aggression in childhood can directly influence psychiatric symptoms and lower well-being in young adulthood. Even more striking, harsh verbal discipline may even affect the way a child's brain develops. A 2010 study published in Neuroimage found that exposure to parental verbal abuse was associated with changes to the gray matter in parts of the brain that process sound and language. To put it in simpler terms, let's borrow a brilliant analogy from the work of Dr. Daniel Siegel and Dr. Tina Payne Bryson, authors of The Whole Brain Child. They describe the brain as having 2 parts, a downstairs brain and an upstairs brain. The downstairs brain is the primitive, reactive part. It's home to our basic functions, our big emotions like anger and fear, and our fight, flight, or freeze instincts. The upstairs brain is our more sophisticated, thinking part. This is where logic, planning, self-control, and empathy live. The catch? The upstairs brain is still under construction all the way through childhood and into a person's 20s. When your child is having a meltdown because they can't have another cookie, their downstairs brain has taken over. They are flooded with emotion, and their logical, reasoning upstairs brain is completely offline. Now, here's the crucial part. When we respond to their downstairs brain tantrum by yelling, our own downstairs brain hijacks us. We get flooded with our own anger. So now you have 2 people, a parent and a child, operating from their most primitive emotional brains. In this state, there is 0 capacity for learning or connection. It's just 2 brains clashing. Nothing good can come from this. Yelling at a child who is in their downstairs brain is like trying to reason with a smoke alarm. It's just noise. So, what's the alternative? The single most important principle we're going to talk about is this: connection before correction. To get our child's upstairs brain back online, we first have to connect with them. We have to make them feel safe, seen, and understood. Only then, once they move from a state of reactivity to receptivity, can any real teaching or discipline happen. This shifts our goal from, how do I stop this behavior right now, to, how do I connect with my child to help them learn a better way? This simple but profound shift changes everything. Now, let's get into the first practical technique to make this happen. And it starts not with your child, but with you. You cannot be the anchor in your child's emotional storm if you're being tossed about by the waves yourself. We can't give away calm we don't have. That's why the first and most critical technique is to master your own calm. This is the heart of research-backed programs in what's known as mindful parenting. So, what is it? Mindful parenting is about bringing a present-moment, non-judgmental awareness to your parenting. It's noticing your own internal state, your rising anger, your clenched jaw, your racing thoughts, without immediately acting on it. It's about creating that tiny, precious sliver of space between the trigger, your child's behavior, and your reaction, the yell. Why is this the foundation? Because a dysregulated parent cannot co-regulate a child. It's a biological impossibility. A 2022 study on mindful parenting training found it directly improved parent-child interactions and reduced parenting stress. By managing our own reactivity first, we break that cycle and model the very self-control we want our children to learn. Okay, but how do we actually do this in the heat of the moment? It comes down to two things: an in-the-moment strategy and a daily practice. First, your in-the-moment lifeline is a technique called positive reappraisal. This is where you intentionally reframe the story you're telling yourself about your child's behavior. Let's take a classic example. Your 7-year-old is refusing to put on their coat. The default reactive story is probably, he's being defiant. He's doing this on purpose to make me late. He never listens. This is a power struggle and I have to win. This story is a guaranteed recipe for frustration. Now, let's try a positive reappraisal. The behavior is the same, no coat, but the story changes. He's really absorbed in his play right now, and it's hard for kids to switch gears. Or maybe he's trying to assert some independence, which is a normal part of growing up. His job is to test boundaries. My job is to hold them kindly. Can you feel the difference? The second story doesn't make the behavior okay, but it drains the personal attack out of it. It shifts you from feeling like a victim to seeing a developmental challenge that needs your guidance. The second part of this is the pause. When you feel that heat rising in your chest, stop. Literally stop moving. Take one deliberate, slow breath. In for 4, out for 6. This single breath can be enough to pull your own upstairs brain back from the brink. In that pause, use some self-talk. Say to yourself, he's having a hard time, not giving me a hard time. I am the calm leader here. Now, these are emergency breaks. To make them truly work, you need a daily practice to build your calm muscle. This can be as simple as 5 minutes a day focusing on your breath. This practice builds your capacity for mindfulness so that when the stress hits, the pause feels much more natural. Once you've found your own island of calm, you can help your child find theirs. This brings us to our second technique, becoming your child's emotion coach. This empathetic approach is the core of evidence-based programs like Tuning In to Kids. Research on these emotion socialization interventions is compelling. A 2021 study showed that this kind of approach directly improves a child's ability to self-regulate. What is it? Emotion coaching is essentially a 5-step process for responding to your child's feelings. It's about seeing their outbursts not as misbehavior to be squashed, but as opportunities to connect and teach. Why does it work? Back to the brain. Dr. Dan Siegel coined the brilliant phrase, "Name it to tame it." When a child is overwhelmed by a big emotion, it's a raw, right brain experience. By giving that feeling a name, using language to label it, we engage the logical left brain. This simple act helps integrate the brain and has an immediate calming effect. You are literally helping to build the neural pathways for emotional intelligence in your child's brain. So what do the 5 steps of emotion coaching look like? Let's imagine your 10-year-old slams their math book shut on the verge of tears and says, "This is stupid, I can't do it." A typical reactive response? Don't say that. It's not stupid. You're just not trying. Get back to work. This dismisses the feeling, adds shame, and guarantees a fight. Now let's try emotion coaching. Step 1. Notice the emotion. You're an emotion detective. You see the slammed book and tense shoulders. Step 2. See this as a chance to connect. Your internal thought shifts from, "Ugh, here we go," to, "This is a moment he needs my help." Step 3. Communicate your empathy. Get down on their level. In a soft tone, say, "Wow, that looks so frustrating. I can see how upset you are about this." You're not agreeing the math is stupid. You're just validating the feeling. Step 4. Help them label the emotion. This is name it to tame it. You could say, "It seems like you're feeling really angry and maybe a little overwhelmed." Giving it a name makes the big, scary feeling manageable. Step 5. Set limits and problem solve. Only after you've connected and they've calmed down a bit, now you can say, "It's okay to feel frustrated. It's not okay to slam your book. Let's take a 5-minute break and then we can look at that tricky problem together." See the difference? The first response created conflict. The second created connection, taught emotional literacy, and solved the problem. You became their ally. We're halfway through, and these are deep shifts. I'm curious, have you ever tried naming an emotion for your child and seen how it changes things? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could be the one that helps another parent have a breakthrough. And if you're finding these tools helpful, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. We're all in this together. Now on to technique number 3. So we've regulated ourselves, and we've connected with our child's emotional state. Now what? Now it's time for the discipline part. And remember, discipline means to teach. Our third technique comes directly from the No Drama Discipline Framework by Dr. Siegel and Bryson, and it's a brilliant, memorable strategy. Redirect. What is it? Redirect is a set of strategies for teaching a better way forward after you've made that connection. It stands for reduce words, embrace emotions, describe, and involve your child. Why does it work? Because let's be honest, what's our first instinct after they've calmed down? The lecture. But a long, moralizing lecture is just overwhelming noise to a brain that's still rebooting. Redirect uses strategies the developing brain can actually absorb, building directly on the brain science we've discussed. Let's apply this to a classic. You walk in and your 2 kids are fighting over the remote. Your old reaction might be to yell, "Stop it! Who had it first? You're both losing TV for a week." Instead, you take a breath, technique number 1, and you connect, technique number 2. "Wow, it is loud in here. You both look really angry. It's so frustrating when you both want the same thing." Now you redirect. Reduce words. Say less. A lot less. Instead of a lecture on sharing, just say, "The remote," or "We have a problem." The less you talk, the more they have to think. Embrace emotions. This is a continuation of emotion coaching. Say yes to the feeling, but no to the behavior. It's okay to feel mad that your brother has the remote. It's not okay to grab it from him. This validates their feelings while holding a clear boundary. Describe, don't preach. Just state what you see like a sportscaster. I see one remote, and I see two children who both want to use it. This non-judgmental description invites their upstairs brains to assess the situation without getting defensive. Involve your child in the discipline. This is the magic. Instead of imposing a solution, you ask them to help create one. What is our family rule about taking things? Or, what are some ways we can solve this problem so you both feel respected? You'll be amazed at their solutions. By involving them, you're teaching problem solving and fairness. Our final technique ties it all together. It's the philosophy that helps you lead your home without being a drill sergeant or a doormat. This is the core principle of positive discipline, being both kind and firm at the same time. What is it? Kindness shows respect for your child. It's the empathy and connection. Firmness shows respect for yourself and the situation. It's the clear boundaries and follow-through. The key is that they aren't opposites. They work together. Why does it work? For a long time, parents thought they had two options: be strict or be permissive. This is a third, more effective way. In fact, a 2024 study on a positive discipline intervention found that it significantly increased mothers' parenting self-efficacy, their confidence in their ability to parent effectively. When kids feel respected and that their voice matters, their motivation to misbehave plummets. It builds mutual respect and teaches them to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because they fear punishment. So what does kind and firm sound like? A huge part of it is in the language we choose. A key strategy is replacing but with and. I know you want to keep playing, but it's time for dinner. Feels like a fight. I know you want to keep playing, and it's time for dinner. Feels collaborative. It validates the feeling and holds the limit. Here are a few other examples. Instead of yelling, "Get your shoes on now," you can say kindly and firmly, "We're leaving in 5 minutes. What do you need to do to be ready?" For a candy demand at the store, "I know you really want that candy, it looks delicious. And we're not buying candy today. You can add it to your birthday list." One of the most powerful, kind, and firm phrases is simply, "I love you," and the answer is no. It communicates unconditional love alongside an unshakable boundary. Another crucial part of this is proactive connection. Spend 10 minutes of one-on-one time with your child each day. Let them lead the play. This fills their connection tank, so they don't have to seek attention through negative behavior. Lastly, have a plan for cooling down. A calm-down corner with pillows or books isn't a punitive timeout. It's a supportive time in. It's a kind and firm way of saying, "Our brains are offline. Let's take a break so we can solve this together." So, let's do a quick recap. Master your calm. Start with you. Use the pause and positive reappraisal. Become an emotion coach. Connect with feelings and help your child name it to tame it. Connect and redirect. After connecting, use short, descriptive language to teach, not lecture. Lead with kindness and firmness. Hold boundaries with respect and empathy. Okay, that was a lot, I know. And I want to be crystal clear. This is a journey. The goal is not to be a perfect parent who never gets angry. That person doesn't exist. The goal is progress, not perfection. It's about having better tools so you yell less and connect more. And when you do make a mistake, because you will, you have the tools to repair it. An apology and a hug are incredibly powerful. This isn't about being a perfect parent, but a present one, a conscious one. A parent who is willing to grow right alongside their child. So my question for you is this. What's one small step you're going to take this week? Will you practice a 1-minute breathing exercise? Try to label an emotion just once? Swap a but for an and? Let me know your commitment in the comments below. Sharing your intention is a powerful first step. Thank you for investing this time in your family. You are doing important work. Keep learning, keep trying, and be kind to yourself along the way.